Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I am Lonnie and today we're going to be looking at 20 things that we bought at garage sales in the past 3 months that we sold on eBay for at least $100. So let's get started. First thing is, this was like a super duper home run. I want to say we paid $50 for this at a yard sale in Tennessee. We went on one of these highway yard sales. Like these 1,000-mile yard sales or whatever, where the whole area participates over a weekend. And Candace spotted these. She looked them up. She saw a sold comp from probably a few years ago for over $1,000, and she bought them for $50. And I was skeptical, I'll be honest. And these have been listed for probably about 10 months now. And they actually just sold a couple of weeks ago. So they're sold. They got paid for. We shipped them. They actually did this. We had a little bit of an issue on this sale. One of the plates had like the most minute little issue. It was one of the small plates. They zoomed in on one little corner of one of these little like scallop pieces that you see here on the edges. And they showed a very minute chip. And it was there. Like, I got to give them that much. But then it's like, okay, what do we do now? And normally I might be a little more aggressive on, it was perfect when we sent it or whatever. In this case, I don't know that. And also, we did end up selling this for $780 plus shipping, giving us a gross profit of like $730 before fees. So once we got word that we had a problem with one of these plates, I actually was looking for a way to pay it off or do whatever we had to do to protect the sale. So we did end up saying, hey, what can we do? And then Candace actually found one of the little plates on replacements.com for like $20 or $15. And the person that bought the plates was fine with us giving partial refund of $20. And then they were going to procure the plate if they wanted to, or just keep the $20. Doesn't matter to us, right? So anyway, we did end up doing that. And then they were happy and we made a bundle. So, this is not to say that you should be buying all the China you see out there, because most of it is worthless. But this particular one worked out. Candace did research this pretty heavily before we actually made the buy. This was a fun one. This actually sold for, some of the stuff sold for cheaper. It was on sale or sent an offer. I think this sold for $269. 10% send offers occasionally on items that people are watching, and I'll usually do like a 10% to watchers, and one of those people bought this for $269 plus shipping. This was actually about, I don't know, 2 months ago. We went to a party store that was closing, and they had a deal where they had these big paper bags, and you could fill these paper bags with all the costumes and stuff you wanted for $10 for the whole bag. So this Ghostface costume was one of the costumes that was in a bag that we paid $10 for, and we ended up selling just that one costume for $269. I had no idea it was worth that. Most of the other costumes we had, $20 to $30, and we had fake mustaches and hosiery and things like that. But this was the cream of that crop for sure. Littlest Pet Shop. So we bought, I think we paid around, what we paid for this Littlest Pet Shop lot? $50. And this wasn't all of it. We had a lot more stuff. So Candace spent a few days listing all the Littlest Pet Shop we bought from one garage sale. And it was a lot of stuff. And the listings came to, I want to say, around $1,100 or so. But this one listing, she took all the loose Littlest Pet Shop animals and the accessories and all that stuff and made one big listing. This is all the stuff that wasn't higher value. She had some threshold she used. She actually put a pretty good bit of time and effort into listing all this stuff. But we bought all the Littlest Pet Shop for 50. I think it was 50. And just this portion sold for $227.50 at auction. Okay, this was a fun one. We have another item I'm going to show you in a minute that was from the same buy. So we roll up on a yard sale, and this guy has a bunch of Delta, like old school Delta airline posters. This was actually a large, let's see, maybe, this is a large map that looked like it might get mounted. Here you can see a little better. It's like it's plastic, but it's not real thick. It could still roll up, but it was fairly rigid. But this was like a map that might go in an airport or something, maybe, I'm guessing. Probably from the 80s, 70s, or 80s. And we bought this and a bunch of Delta travel posters. All of it for $20. $20. This one piece here, I could not find another one for nothing. And finally, I was like, Candace, I think if I got 200 for this, I wouldn't have any regrets. And so I listed it for 200, and we got 200 for it within, I don't know, 2 or 3 days. It was sold. So we had, a couple bucks into this. That was a big home run. And the beauty of it was there was other stuff from that same buy that sold too. Most of the posters, a lot of the posters are gone now. The listings from that one buy totaled around, I think, close to $800 just for one $20 buy. This was something we just bought the other day. This was a Hermes Rocket portable typewriter, and I thought it was a toy at first, just because it was so small and just and compact and fairly light. But it turns out it was a real typewriter, and it was actually valuable. This is actually made in West Germany. Some other ones of this same model are made in Switzerland sometimes. This one did have some issues, or actually just one major issue, because other than that, it was like really clean. But if you look at like, get a good shot here. So you see the roller, like where the paper wraps around whenever you're typing? On the ends of the roller, like right here, there should be a knob you could turn to advance or retract the paper, right? And that knob is missing on that side and on the other side. If it wasn't missing, would have priced it a little bit higher. Some of these typewriters can even go up to like $700-800 if you have the right ones. Some of them have actually different colored keys and whatnot. This color is pretty good though. Like that's that seafoam green on the case, but some of the keys are cooler colors too. Anyway, we paid $5 for this typewriter, and we sold it like a day after listing it for, this was another send offers to watchers sale. So they got 10% off the $249, so it ended up selling for about $225. So about $220 gross profit before fees. This was a fun one right here. This is a 3-pack of laser toner, magenta, cyan, and yellow. And we went to a church sale, and it was outside, and there was a laser printer with 3 things of toner on top of it. And I wasn't interested in the laser printer, but it said $10, and the toner came with it. So I picked the toner up and paid the $10 for the toner and left the printer there. Toner sells within, I don't know, 2 or 3 days for $189.99 plus ship. So that was a home run. We're going to see a few Bose items here. Unfortunately, I cannot remember how much I paid for which one. They're between $20 to $60 or $20 to $50 a piece, and I just do not know. But Bose are always good to look out for, and you do have to be careful when you're comping though, because like this is a Bose Companion 3, but then they have Series 2, and the Series 2 sells for a pretty good bit more than the Series 1 do, and that you actually see it happen across a lot of their product lines. Which series you have matters. So I've actually sold this exact set a few times now, Series 1 and Series 2. And these Bose speaker systems, they just always like, boom, they're gone every time. This is a interesting little sale here. I bought this before the Russians invaded Ukraine. This was last summer, the same time when we bought those plates. I think the first thing I showed y'all. And bought this from an old guy he let us pick his barn. And this was sitting in his barn, and a plaque about like yay tall of like a pot metal like molded plaque thing. And he sold it to us for $5, and it took like, about 10 months or so, and sold it a couple of weeks ago for, a guy offered me $100, and I happily accepted. So this is the kind of thing where you just have to say, oh, well, that looks kind of neat or interesting or whatever. $5, that's a no-brainer, because you're probably not going to see that exact same thing. There's going to be a few Sony Handycams on here too, and I typically will pay anywhere from $5 to $20 for them, depending on accessories, tapes, how do they look. I pass on them sometimes too if they don't look good. Like if they don't look like cosmetically clean, then a lot of times that might mean they don't work either, or they weren't taken care of. The good news though about Sony Handycams is usually, I would say, or not usually, I would say probably 80% of the time, or maybe 70% of the time, these Handycams work. And when they don't, you can sell the chargers or the other accessories and whatnot to at least get your money back. That's what I've usually found. But this one worked fine. I have no idea what I paid for it. Somewhere in the realm of $5 to $20. Here's another one. Again, I don't know what I paid for it. Somewhere between $5 to $20. And here is a Bose acoustic wave music system. I sold this without the remote. Still got $109.99. This was not one of the cleaner looking ones. And I think I got this one super cheap. I want to say paid $5 for this one. Maybe. Might have been 10. I really can't remember. I shouldn't guess. But yeah, Bose. It sold real quick, just like the rest of the Bose. Okay, this is Companion 3. Okay, so I showed y'all the Bose Companion 3 Series 2. And you can see what that looks like. And then if we come over here, this is the Bose Companion 3 Series 1. Very similar, just a little older model of the same speakers. And got $50 less for these. All right, this is a fun one here. Candace actually found this on estatesales.net. She found Star Wars watch, and some of these companies will sell to you directly. And she reached out, and we got four or five of these Star Wars watches, like brand new, for $25 a pop. And I think we have one left now. And so we're making $100 gross profit on each one, unless again we might sell some of them for 10% off of this, where we make like closer to $85 to $90 gross profit on each one. A Razer Black Widow X Chroma mechanical gaming keyboard. Paid $5 for this, and did have one small issue with it. There are, under the space bar and the shift keys, the larger keys on these mechanical keyboards, are pretty much all keyboards really. They have these little supports under them, so that if you press on like the left side of the keyboard, it doesn't like dip down. The whole thing will depress. Well, that was missing on this keyboard, and I did have to order one off of eBay. I think for like $6 or $7. I installed it. I listed the keyboard, and then got $109.99. This is something I like to sell a lot too, and that is electronic typewriters. I like selling typewriters in general. I find they always sell pretty quickly. And typewriters, you could typically get $5 to $10, and sometimes in an estate sale you might have to pay a little more. This is a pawn yacht, and done pretty well with these over the years. I think they're kind of popular in England and Europe. And this is one that I bought in Tennessee at that same highway sale. Paid $20 for this one at that estate sale, and not estate sale, yard sale in Tennessee. It was pretty big. It was like that long, and it wasn't that much fun to pack, but the profits were big. Okay, another camcorder. That's a mini DV. Well, see, that's a mini DV. Sell them all. This was a high 8 millimeter, and this was an 8 millimeter also. The 8 millimeters are probably the most popular, but the mini DVs sell well too. Okay, if you remember that, where's that thing at? That big map with the airline routes on it. Well, if you remember that, then this also came with that same buy. There was a bunch of travel posters like this. This was the best of the posters, I think. Atlanta, $99.99 plus shipping on top. That was good too. So just in those two things, we had $300 in sales off that $20 buy. This was a just a little statue, Mike the Tiger. And we got the $99.99 or 10% off of that because it doesn't show whenever we do the cent offers. This one actually has, you can see the football is yellowed. You can actually see, like, that's actually a very good perspective because you can see the difference between the two. But yeah, we sold that, I want to say, about a week. And that might have actually came from an estate sale. I'm not sure. And finally, this is a clock. I believe this was definitely at a garage sale about a month ago. And I want to say paid $10 for that. $5 or $10 for that clock. And it just looked really cool. So I picked it up, and we got $100 plus shipping for that within a week of listing it. So and that's the case with, I find, with a few rare exceptions, like those plates. The plates were always going to be long tail, and there was something else that took a while on here. But just about, I didn't realize it when I was first going through it, but I would say probably 75% of the stuff that I just showed y'all sold within 2 weeks. So not only is it selling for high profit, but it's also selling, this thing right here is one. This and the plates weren't fast. Pretty much everything else on here sold. Boom. So just some ideas for some things y'all can maybe look out for at yard sales if you didn't know about them already. If not, if you're just here to hang out, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And I will see y'all again soon. Bye, y'all.